are you okay?
You don't hang out and you don't want to talk.
I didn't join a band so I could talk about my feelings.
Well, I did.
I joined it so I could hit my feelings with sticks.
Gwen definitely leans towards having avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment is that when they are stressed, they kind of go into themselves. They don't feel comfortable sharing. And you would say, like, what actually causes a difference in your attachment type? Usually it's for when people are worried and upset about things and someone didn't come through. It could have been a parental figure. It could have been feeling alone. And they learn to depend upon themselves, only trust themselves. And so for someone with an avoidant attachment type, oversharing or sharing with people that they don't feel safe with actually makes them feel worse.
You don't tell someone what's going on, you're gonna snap.
I'm fine.
That's not how someone who's fine would say that.
Say, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks.
Whoa. How are you?
It was very astute. Absolutely. If she was really fine, she wouldn't have said it in that way. Just because for you, you feel comfortable to share, that doesn't mean that the other person does. I think that we often look at the lens that because this works for me, this must work for you, and because this is what I want, I'm going to try to push you towards it. And that's not a respectful way to be. You want to be able to open the door so someone can go, but also give them that feeling of safety that if they don't want to, they don't have to either. Because if you make someone feel pressured to share something before they feel comfortable or before they feel ready, they'll actually feel emotionally violated for that, or upset or frustrated, which will lessen the chances that they'll share next time.
Gwen, come on.
I don't get you, man.
You're right. I always wanted to be in a band. Guess I just never found the right one.
And that's what happened to Gwen. Because she felt that pressure that this might happen each time, this outlet that she had where she could share her emotions through music was something that she no longer felt safe and comfortable with. And avoidant people will often ditch someone else when the pressure gets tight, when they feel like there's too much confrontation, when they feel like they're under that emotional pressure and they'd rather be alone.
No, what did you do?
Wanted to be special. Like you.
What happens to us where we have a full belief in our own abilities and a comfort level, and then something kind of sideswipes us? Something happens that we never expected, or we make a mistake that we feel guilty for afterwards. It can often give us that feeling of failure and that fear of making that mistake again. And I think that Gwen already leaned towards overachieving, overthinking, trying to do things in the right way, the best way that she could. And that's a really difficult thing when you have all of these responsibilities and have to make decisions in fractions of seconds. There's not enough time for you to calculate every single possibility. So that risk of failure is even greater. For many people, that fear of failure is their greatest fear. That fear of making a mistake, and making a mistake that other people are going to have to pay for. That can be so great that it can often paralyze people.
Don't go. Peter.
And you end up having to deal with that feeling of replaying a scenario that you wish that you had done something differently. It's a hard thing to be able to forgive yourself and to know that you did the best that you could with the tools and skills that you had and knowledge that you had. We often look backwards with that feeling of regret, but we also have to remember that it's easy to look at things with 20/20 hindsight when you have more knowledge, when you have more time to be able to process things. But when we're really stressed, our brain actually shuts down that cognitive part of our brain. So often we're going, why didn't I think of A, B, and C? But the part of your brain that's thinking, that's cognitive, is often chemically numbed when we're stressed so that we can react fast enough, because processing takes time. And often in life or death situations, we don't have the luxury of time.
In the important ways, you know?
In every other universe, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man.
Though I think that her as being more avoidant, I don't think that she would be saying it as in every other universe, Gwen falls for Spider-Man. I think that she might be less direct and say that in every other universe, Spider-Man falls for Gwen, or in every other universe when Spider-Man and Gwen get too close, something that's more neutral. I think that that was really forward of her, which I think is wonderful if she'd be able to share it, but I don't think that she'd be able to take such a strong stance. Usually people with avoidant personality type are probably not going to take such an emotional risk when the risk of failure, of getting hurt, of being excluded or abandoned or rejected is so painful. And for Gwen, Miles is that one person that she feels like she can share. He's her one friend. He's her person. And so to risk that where he might push her away or not like her in the way that she thinks, I think that she would have questioned that and phrased it a little bit less forward. Do you see that she noticed she sees him move his hand a little bit closer to hers, that sign of I like you and I want to kind of reach out to you. And you see that sigh of I know that he likes me and it's unfortunate that I can't go this route. And so she's letting him know really quickly that this isn't something that they can both pursue.
And in every other universe, it doesn't end well.
And then that goes back to that fear of failure, of making a mistake, of hurting someone else, because for Gwen, she's already lost Peter, the other person that was really close to her. And so that fear of failure, of risk, of loss again, becomes so great. We often fear failing so much that we don't even try, that we won't go somewhere, we won't take that emotional risk. And for Gwen, it's a very direct risk. She's actually lost someone, and in her line of work, people do die, and so she doesn't want to lose Miles also, and she assumes that if they become close, that's what could cause it. I think that she already knows how Miles feels about her, and she's keeping him as a friend because she's worried that if she cares for him, she's also going to cause his death just like she caused Peter.
And you weren't supposed to save him. That's why Gwen tried to stop you.
I thought you were trying to save me.
I was doing both.
And because she's already made a mistake that cost other people's lives, she becomes overcautious. What sometimes happens is when we make a mistake, the pendulum often swings the other way and we become too cautious, too worried. We start to self-doubt, unsure of our own actions, and it's so much easier to listen to an authority figure and just follow their rules. Stops us from being responsible for it, which is soothing in a certain way, because if there is a mistake, it's not our fault. We don't have to carry all of that guilt because we're following someone else's rules that has to take the responsibility if things don't go well. And that's what we call secondary gains. The other things that you get as a benefit when you choose a certain pathway. And when you fear failure, it's so much easier for her to join a team that's telling her what to do than to have to worry about taking a risk where she might have to deal with loss and that pain of making a mistake again. And that can make you question your own judgments because that one time your judgments were wrong and you paid a huge price for it. And so though it's easier, sometimes that can also make you go against the things that you feel comfortable with or even the things that you feel are right.
Not now.
What am I supposed to do? Just let him die? What about your dad? He's a captain, right?
Yeah.
And what also happens with responsibility is when you are part of a large group, the responsibility of your actions are diffused among all of the group members. And the larger the group, the more that diffusion happens. And so if they make a mistake, it is less of a risk of that pain upon Gwen's shoulders. Plus, you end up with this groupthink, this culture of when everyone is doing exactly the same thing, it is exceptionally hard to go against the grain. That zeitgeist, that flow of where everyone is going, especially when you have a really strong leader, takes immense inner strength. And for Gwen, because she dealt with this loss and she has this fear of failing again, of making a mistake that may cost people's lives and that huge responsibility, it's easier for her to just follow suit like everyone else is doing because it must be right. You can tell that she questions it, that maybe she isn't.
I'm completely on my own. I don't even know what the right thing is anymore. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I know I can't lose one more friend.
We're made to fight in a tribe. Humans are really strong when we're a group. It's a really scary thing to be able to say, I want something different. I'm going to do something different, to go against what everyone else, even our mindset, to be able to think that there might be a different way, have that us and them phenomenon, that if you're not with us, you are against us. And we put that person as a them, as an enemy, as an other. And that feeling, because that group becomes your identity, we often attack, malign, call out, and feel like they're betraying us. So to be able to stand up alone against the group that you were once a part of can be devastating for your ego and takes immense inner strength. That same fear of failure, fear of loss for Gwen is what gives her that strength. I don't know why I'm emotional. That it hurt her so much to lose Peter that she doesn't want to lose Miles as well. And that shows how strong her feelings are for Miles, because it's her entire group, that wanting to be part of a band, that avoidance, that she only has a few people that she feels safe with, but she'd choose him against everyone else.
Get it over with.
I can't.
Why not?
Because I quit.
When?
About halfway through your big speech.
Wait a minute, you're not gonna be captain?
I like the juxtaposition that her dad also picked her over being captain, just like Gwen is choosing Miles over being part of the Spider Troop.
You're the best thing I've ever done.
I love that she spider slings him into a hug. Just so cute and so close, that he's also someone that she can trust and share with. And I think that it meant a lot that he chose her over his own career. I love that scene because in her eyes you could see that defiance, that steadfast. She's sure of her decision. We get a lot of anxiety when we are between two choices, when we're on the fence, that we're not sure where we're gonna stand. But once we take a stand, even if it's the wrong decision, our anxiety levels go down. You can tell in her eyes it's complete resolve.
Don't tell Mom.
Totally bad parenting. Don't take your child when you're going out on a caper. She's cute.
I never found the right band to join. So I started my own.
I love that. I love it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. It's just perfect. She learned that the real failure is not trying, that you might as well just go at it. And if the group that you're in is not the right group for you, make your own group, make your own path. That it is better to try and fail. That's not failure. At least you've learned something, than to regret not trying at all, to wonder what if or what could be. That's what really hurts us.
With a few old friends.
Yes, did you see it? Spider-Man Noir's there, Spider-Pig, Penny, like they're all there. Like the entire troop is back together. I'm so excited. I love this scene. And I love the look, that look of she's still unsure, but she's doing it anyways. It takes that courage. This is her leap of faith. This is her walking her own path and not living by anyone else's rules, not letting fear stop her. Ah! Expanding your mind is not only a wonderful way to make the world make sense, maybe not spider sense, but you won't have to swing from the rooftops to do it with today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. To learn a new skill to get you prepared for whatever life has to sling at you. Learn, enjoy, grow with Brilliant's ever-growing new courses. Brilliant makes college-level courses available to everyone. Each course is designed for high-velocity learning to help you stay focused and reach your goals superhero fast. And Brilliant makes learning like a game with fun features that let you challenge yourself and compete with others, so it never gets dull. And we know that when learning is more fun, it just sticks better. So you'll remember more easily and quickly. And Brilliant has thousands of lessons, from foundational to advanced math, AI, data science, neural networks, and many more, with new lessons being added monthly. So far, I've covered their courses on algebra, logic, geometry, and I've found all of them really engaging. I did their course on logic with challenging problem-solving exercises, where I was able to construct those critical thinking skills that are the basis for mathematical reasoning. And the thing that I found the most enjoyable was that it was interactive, which helps me learn because I'm kind of that visual hands-on learner, and I could do it at the pace that I wanted to learn without feeling any pressure. They also have new courses on how technology works and thinking in code. And if you're still not sure, why don't you just try everything Brilliant has to offer for free? Yes, a full 30 days. Just head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people will also get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So either click on that button or head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out this channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. These are my feelings of Gwen and her journey. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.